It's been a long time since I've been here. Yeah, so I hope guys you know about this once every 3 weeks. Yeah, it's my turn. And yeah, hopefully next week Teacher Marta will be here also with you guys. And yeah, to those who don't know who I am again, I am Teacher Leo. I am from the Philippines. And I've been here in Turkey for almost 3 years. And yeah, to those who are our listeners from their home, from their work, nice to be here again. I hope that you guys are okay. Alright, so today we will do 2 topics. I will show you or I will tell you some stories and we will talk about comparative and superlative. Alright, but before that, I would like to say thank you also for this opportunity that they give it to me, the school and of course the manager, Mr. Faisan, and of course my head in English department. Thank you so much for this opportunity that you give to us. All right, so let's move on, and I will show you or I will tell you something about a good student. It is a short story. All right. So again, I will tell you something about a story. All right. So this story it talks about a good student. Okay. So Maria Santos was a 12-year-old girl who studied in San Isidro Elementary School. She was known in her class as a kind, respectful, and hardworking. Every morning, Maria would wake up early, help her mother prepare breakfast, and then walk to school with a smile on her face. Wow! So Maria always wake up early in the morning, right? And I hope you guys, to those our listeners, especially to those students, I know you wake up late also and help your mom to make some breakfast, okay? Now, Maria loved learning. She enjoyed reading books, solving math problems, and doing science experiments. Her teachers noticed that she always paid attention in her class and never hesitated to ask questions when she didn't understand something. Alright? So, at home, Maria had a small study corner near the window. It was simple, just a wooden table, a chair, and a small lamp. But to Maria, it was her favorite place. After school, she would do her homework there. She would do her homework there before playing or watching television. So, her parents were proud of her discipline and often reminded her younger brother to follow her example. One day, their teacher, Mr. Cruz, announced that there would be a science quiz bee. Many students were excited, but also nervous. Maria decided to join, even though she felt shy. She studied every night, reading her science notes and watching educational videos. Sometimes, she even helped her classmates review their lessons after class. When the day of the competition arrived, Maria was a little scared, but she took a deep breath and remembered all her teacher's advice. Do your best, stay calm, and believe in yourself. During the quiz, she listened carefully and answered each question with confidence. Alright, so it's competition day. After several rounds, Maria won for the first place. Her classmates clapped and cheered for her. Mr. Cruz smiled proudly and said, "Maria, you truly deserve this. You work hard, helped each other, and showed what it means to be a good student." But what made Maria special was not only her grades. She was also kind and humble. She always greeted her teachers politely, respected everyone, and helped classmates who had difficulties in their lessons. When her classmates Ben forgot his notebook, Maria shared her notes without hesitation. Wow, it's a good student. When their classroom is messy, she helped clean even if it wasn't her turn. One afternoon, the principal announced that Maria would receive a Model Student Award. Oh, Maria got Student Award. So, everyone clapped loudly. Her parents attended the ceremony and were very proud. Maria felt happy, not just because she received a medal, but because she knew that she made her teachers and parents proud. From that day on, Maria became an inspiration to her classmates. They learned that being a good student is not just about studying hard. It's also about being honest, kind, respectful, and helping others. And every time a new year began, Maria continued to study with the same enthusiasm, reminding everyone that true success starts with a good character and a good heart. Alright? So that's all for our a short story for today. So remember that this story, it talks about a good student. So once that when we say a good student, it's not about only learning, right? So we know that being a good student is not about only studying hard, but also respecting others, and of course help each other, helping someone, right? Helping your parents and your classmates also. So you need to be kind, respectful, and helping others in order for you to become a good student. Alright? So I know that most of our students here in Natan, they are good students also. Some students, they like to study. So I can see every afternoon there are some students that they study a special class. So students here in Natan they are eager to study about the different kinds or different types of lessons that they want to. Alright, so now I am down for the storytelling. I will show you, or I will tell you something about the English class. Alright, so guys, it's not about only story, but also it's about English class. Okay, so now our topic is all about comparative and superlative. Alright, so now question, what is comparative? What is superlative? Now, when we say comparative, it is used to compare two people, things, or animals. So, and it is usually ends in ER, or we use more plus adjective. Example, Maria is smarter than Ben, right? So which means that we compare Maria to Ben, okay? So which means when we use comparative adjectives, it says that we need to use ER or more. Alright, so now, what is superlative? Superlative adjectives are used to compare three or more people, animals, or things. Okay, so usually it ends in EST, or we use most, right? Again, when using superlative adjective, it usually ends in EST, or we use most and then adjective. So in comparative, we use ER, or we will use more plus adjective. So shall we say Maria also? So Maria is smartest student in the class. So as you can see, we compared Maria to the class, to the whole class. That's why smartest. So it's not only one, it's not only two, but more students. So we compared one student to all students in the class. So that is what? Superlative adjectives. Got me? Okay, so now let's go back to the example of comparative. Maria is smarter than Ben. So which means we compare only Maria to Ben. It's only one student. So that's why we use ER. Okay? So that's why That is the difference between comparative adjective and superlative adjective. Okay? So, again, when we say comparative, we use ER or more. And then when we say superlative, we used EST or we used most plus adjective. Now, let's move on, or I will give you some example of about the Maria story. So, Maria, using adjectives or using comparative adjectives or superlative adjectives. Okay? So, what do you call this? These are the examples of Maria's story. So, Maria is more hardworking than the most of her classmates. So, what is it? Comparative or superlative? Again, Maria is more hardworking than most of her classmates. So, in that sentence, you can see or you can learn that we used more. So, more, it is used to what? It is used for comparative. So, that's why Maria is more hardworking. Remember that more and ER, we used it for comparatives. And then, EST and most is superlative. So, number 2, she is the most respectful student in her school. So, that is what? That is superlative. Why superlative? Because we used most. Understand? Again, because we used most. She is the most respectful student in her school. So, which means more respectful. More plus adjective. That is superlative. Understand? Alright. Next. Maria's desk is cleaner than Ben's desk. So, that is what? That is comparative. Okay? Because we use what? Cleaner. Right? The base form is clean. And then we add ER. So, that's why cleaner. Okay? Alright. So, next. She wakes up earlier than anyone in her neighborhood. So, she wakes up earlier than anyone in her neighborhood. So, which means that it is a what? Superlative or comparative? It is comparative because we use the word of earlier. So, the base form of early is of course that early. So, we add ER. Alright, so let's move on. Number 5. Her handwriting is the neatest in the class. Okay, her handwriting is the neatest in the class, which means that this is an example of superlative, neatest. Alright, next, number 6. Among all contestants, Maria was the brightest, superlative. Okay? Again, among the contestants, Maria was the brightest. So, it is what? It is superlative. So, next, Maria studies longer than her brother every night. Again, Maria studies longer than her brother every night. So, which means this word is what? Or this phrase or sentence is what? Superlative or comparative? It is comparative. Why is this comparative? It is because of the word long, longer, right? So which means Maria studies longer than her brother. We compared Maria to her brother. Understand? Alright, so now, next that we have is her smile is the sweetest among her friends. Again, her smile is the sweetest among her friends. So, it is comparative or superlative? What do you think, guys? So, it is what? It is superlative. Why superlative? Because of the word sweetest. Remember, in sweetest, or in sweetest, the base form is sweet. Okay? So which means superlative, her smile is the sweetest among her friends. So we compare Maria to her friends. That's why we used est to the word, which is the sweetest. Okay? Alright. So I have a lot of examples also here. I would like to share it to you guys. Okay. So let's talk about tall. So I will show you some words, or I will tell you some words, and then we will use it in comparative and superlative. Okay? Again, I have some words here that we will use it for comparative and superlative. Okay, shall we say the word is tall? Okay, tall. So in comparative, again, I would like to tell you something again and again. Comparative is used to compare two things, two people, animals. Okay? Two only. And when I say superlative, it compares many, a lot. So we used est or most. Okay, for the word tall. So comparative, in comparative, again comparative. My brother is taller than me. That is what? Comparative. Why? Because of the word taller, er. Alright? My brother is taller than me. Next, he is the tallest person in our family. Again, he is the tallest person in our family. So we compared he or him to the family. So which means a lot, right? So he is the tallest person in our family. Next word is short. Okay, short, it is used for comparative. Example, this chair is shorter than that one. Again, this chair is shorter than that one. Next, that is what? Comparative. Okay, now let's talk about superlative. This is the shortest chair in the room. Again, this is the shortest chair in the room. That is what? Comparative or superlative? That is superlative because of the word short. Shortest. est. Alright, now guys, let's play some games. I hope that you guys are listening right now. Let's play some games. Just tell me if comparative or superlative. Again, just tell me if comparative or superlative. Okay, I have some words here. I have some sentences here, and then you will tell me comparative or superlative. I hope that you guys are following. Alright, so this one example. It's the oldest car in the parking lot. It's the oldest car in the parking lot. So, superlative or comparative? What do you think? That is superlative because of the word oldest. Very good. This one. My car is older than yours. My car is older than yours. So that is what? Comparative. Alright, so we compared one thing to another car. Alright, just only two cars. Okay, next. My sister is younger than yours. My sister is younger than yours. So what is it? Comparative, superlative? Superlative, comparative. And that is what? That is comparative because of the word younger. er, young, plus er, younger. Okay? You understand? Next that we have is superlative. Of course, I will tell you, superlative, she is the youngest in the class. Okay? Again, she is the youngest in the class. Superlative or comparative? It is superlative. Alright, shall we say a word for now is this one. Tell me what is the word that I used. I mean the common word that I used. Alright. This box is bigger than that one. This box is bigger than that one. So, I use what? The word big. Shamay? Alright. So, big is what? Big, we use ER plus ER. Bigger than that one. So, that is what? Comparative. Alright. Now, how about how we will use bigger or big for superlative? Right? If we compare the back, if you will compare the other things to other backs, all right? So this one, it's the biggest box here. It's the biggest box here. So which means that we use EST as an example. All right? So again, tell me what are the answer for this, comparative or superlative. My cat is smaller than yours. My cat is smaller than yours. So, comparative or superlative? What do you think, guys? I'll give you time to think. What is it? Alright, correct answer is what? Comparative, because of the word smaller. ER, small, smaller. Understand? That is what? That is comparative. And of course, my cat is smaller than yours. I compared my cat to your cat. It's only two of us. Right? So next, superlative. Right? He is the smallest cat in neighborhood. Again, he is the smallest cat in the neighborhood. So which means it is what? Of course, superlative, because of the word smallest. Small, smallest, right? So we compared the cat to the neighborhood between the in the community, right? So it is what? It is smallest. Understand? Now, this bike is faster than my old one. Again, this bike is faster than my old one. So, it is comparative or superlative? Superlative? Comparative? What do you think, guys? This is what? This is a comparative. Alright, now, how about this? It is the slowest device in the house. Again, this is the slowest device in the house. So which means we used what? EST again. Again, we used EST again for the superlative. Alright, next that I have is this. The sun is brighter today than yesterday. The sun is brighter today than yesterday. So, in this word, you will know that I just compared today and yesterday. Got me? Okay. Again, I just compared today and yesterday. So that's why it is what? It is I compared the day today and yesterday. So which means I used what? I used ER. So brighter. The sun is brighter today than yesterday. Okay. So now, next that I have is, this is the brightest day this week. Again, this is the brightest day this week. So which means I compared today to the whole week. Again, I compared today to the whole week. So which means I need to use EST, right? What is the word? Bright, right? Brightest. So okay. So that is what? Superlative. Understand? Alright, now what I have here is this one. The room is darker than the room is darker now than before. Again, the room is darker now than before. So it is what? It is the room that the word that I use is dark. So it is what? Comparative or superlative? So it is what? It is comparative because I compared the room now and before. It's only two, right? Now and before. Just like today and yesterday. Okay? So, this one. This is the darkest place I've been. Again, this is the darkest place I've been. So, which means what? Which means that I compared all the places that I've been before. Okay? I compared all the places that I've been before. So, that's why I used EST. So, I've been a lot of places. So, I compared those places to this place. That's why I used EST. That is superlative. Okay? So, that is, guys, again, I am not only teaching about those words in superlative and comparative, but also I am teaching you guys about the grammar. All right, just only basic grammar about this one, but most of the people, they don't know also this one because it's really like chaotic. If you will use it, you don't know how to use it, you don't know when to use it also. So that's why we need to know when to use comparative and when to use superlative. Right? So next that I have is this. My uncle is richer than my father. Again, my uncle is richer than my father. Alright? So, it is comparative or superlative? What do you think? It is comparative because I compared my uncle to my father. There's only two of them. Uncle and father. Understand? Father and uncle. Alright, so that's why richer, rich. I cannot do like this. My uncle is rich than my father. Wrong. Okay? Cannot. Again, if I will do like this, my uncle is rich than my father. So it is not comparative. You're not comparing your uncle to your dad or to your father. So it's wrong. Did you get me? So it's wrong. So which means that comparative is only used to compare two things. Okay? Again, I told you my uncle is rich than my father. That is grammatically wrong. Did you understand? And then how to make it correct? My uncle is richer than my father. So we add ER to the word rich. We add ER to the word rich. Alright, next that I have is superlative. He is the richest person I know. Right? He is the richest person I know. Alright, what happened here? So, the word is rich, right? I add EST. He is the richest, or he is the richest person I know. So guys, I just use EST to the word rich. So that is what? Comparative or superlative? That is superlative. Alright? Next that I have is this one. They are poorer now than last year. Again, they are now poorer now than last year. So which means it is what? Comparative or superlative? It is comparative. Okay? Because we compared now and last year. Right? So how to use poor in superlative? Right? Superlative, they are the poorest family in the village. Right? Again, they are the poorest family in the village. So which means in the village, right, there are families in the village, but within the village they are the poorest. So that's why we used est for the word poor. Alright? So now, next that I have is this. This lake is larger than the last one we saw. Alright, this lake is larger than the last one we saw. So which means I compared the lake that I saw before this lake. So it is only what? It is only the last lake that that I saw and the next lake which is present. Okay? So this lake is larger than the last one we saw. Alright, next that I have is using in superlative. So it's the largest lake in the country. Again, it's the largest lake in the country. Okay, so comparative or superlative? That is superlative. Alright, so next, or let's move on. What I have here is the pillow is lighter than that one. Again, this pillow is lighter than that one. So we compare this pillow to the other pillow also. So which means this is an example of comparative. So how we will use that in superlative? It is the lightest pillow in the store. So we know in the store there is what? There is a lot of pillow. Okay? So that's why this is the lightest pillow in the store. So that is what? Comparative or superlative? That is superlative because of the word lightest. Alright? So next that I have here is hot. Okay, the word is hot. So today is hotter than yesterday. Again, today is hotter than yesterday. So again, I compared today and yesterday. Today, present, and then yesterday. Alright? The past. Okay, today is hotter than yesterday. So the word is hotter. That is comparative. Okay, next that I have here is it is the hottest day of the year. Again, it is the hottest day of the year. So which means I compared today to all year round, which means in 365 days in 1 year, right? 365 days in 1 year, today is the hottest day, right? So I compared more, right? So that is what? Superlative. Okay, next that I have here is this water is colder than that one. Again, this water is colder than that one. So I compared this water. I'll give you example. This water is colder than that one. Again, this water is colder than that one. Colder. So which means this water is colder than your water. Understand? That is what? Comparative. I compared my water to your water. Understand? Okay. So now, how to use this word in a superlative? So, it's the coldest water I've ever felt. Okay? It's the coldest water I ever felt. Okay? So, I compared all the water that I've touched, I felt it, to this water. So, which means it is the coldest water. So, again, it is the coldest water I've ever felt. Okay, next, easy. Okay, the word easy. This test is easier than the last one, right? So all students, I know they will, what do you call this? They will relate for this, right? Because some students, teacher, your exam is so hard. So okay, what if it's easy? We will use easy. So easy is what? Easy, it is, or this test is easier than the last one. So that is an example of what? That is an example of comparative. Again, it is an example of comparative. And then next that I have is this one. It is the easiest test we've had, right? We know that the students have what? They have a lot of tests, a lot of exam. So they compared the test to all of the tests. So that's why it is, or it's the easiest test we've had, right? Okay, so that is superlative. Now, next, this puzzle is harder than yesterday. Again, this puzzle is harder than yesterday. So which means the word is hard, harder, right? Okay, so next, that is what? Comparative. Okay, next, it is the hardest puzzle I've ever solved. It is the hardest puzzle I've ever solved. So which means this is the hardest puzzle among all the puzzles that I solved. So I compared this puzzle to all puzzles that I solved before. Alright? So next that I have is clean. This room is cleaner than my bedroom. This room is cleaner than my bedroom. So it is what? It is clean. It is comparative because I compared this room to my room. Again, this room is cleaner than my room. So I cannot do like this. How about this one? This is clean than my room. It's wrong because I compared this room and my room. So that's why in the word clean, I must use, or I must put ER. That's why cleaner. Okay? So this room is cleaner than my bedroom. Again, this room is cleaner than my bedroom. That is what? Comparative. And then in superlative, okay, again, we will use the word clean. It is the cleanest. Again, it is the cleanest room in the house. Again, it is the cleanest room in the house. It is what? Superlative. Okay, so it is superlative. Because what? Because of the word clean. So I compared the house, I compared the room into the house. Because in the house, there is, example, there is 2 or 3 rooms. That's why we use that cleanness, or we add est to the word clean to make it to compare it to the house, or the room in the house. All right. So again, as what I told you, we use comparative and superlative if we compare two things, or shall we say people, animals, or things. Again, let's review. Again, as again and again. Comparative, it is used to compare two people, animals, or things. Okay, it's only 2. How about more than 2? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? More than 2. We will use superlative. So how to use superlative? We need to add est or most. Again, we need to add est or most for superlative. Again, it is used to compare 3 or more people, things, or animals. Again, in comparative, it is used to compare 2 people, animals, or things. And we use er or more. And then in superlative, it is used to compare 3 or more people, animals, or things, and we use est or most. So guys, I think that's all for today. I hope that you learned something from me, and see you after 2 weeks, I think so. So next week, Teacher Martha's turn, and after Teacher Martha, that would be Teacher David's turn also. So I hope I'll see you in 2 weeks from now. Alright? So, thank you so much, guys. I hope that you learned something. And bye-bye. Take care.